Everybody, Elida Zweidler-McKay from ZM Coach, where we're all about helping you prepare for and land that next promotion, whether that's moving ahead in your current organization or looking for a different role somewhere else. Our work is about helping you get ready for it and then really hit the ground running and be successful in that next promotion. Of course, landing that job as well. Today, I want to talk to you about collaboration overload. So if you are working in any kind of organization of any size, my sense is that you can resonate with that term, collaboration overload. We have all these different ways to communicate with people. There's email, there's Slack, there's texting, there's all these different channels, Teams, Zoom, all these different ways of being in touch with one another. And although it can feel productive because you're out there doing stuff, sometimes people are finding that it's just not, that it, rather than being really productive, it's actually quite overwhelming. And there was a really interesting interview recently in the McKinsey Quarterly about this topic. The interview was with Rob Cross, who's written a book called Beyond Collaboration Overload: How to Work Smarter, Get Ahead, and Restore Your Well-Being. And what Rob and his colleagues found was that the way high performers collaborate is very different and really helps them be something like 20% more efficient than the people who didn't know how to collaborate well. So collaborating well and getting a handle on building those connections that are going to help you move your work forward is really important. And most of all, it's important because the costs of not doing that are really high. When you're not able to collaborate well, when you're not able to make use of all of those tools that are available to you and really use them in a way that's going to move your career forward, you can find yourself in this position where you're less innovative or your team is less innovative. There aren't as many new ideas coming in. All of that overload and overwhelm leads to attrition and turnover. And the problem with that, of course, is that that creates an extra burden on the people who stay behind. So then what we're seeing is all kinds of costs of stress and mental health issues that are coming about because we have all these ways of collaborating and all this information coming at us and all these different people that we're supposed to be connecting to, but we're not doing it as well as we could in a way that's really going to move us ahead. And the core to doing that well is really about building that human connection. So here are some of the ideas that came about in that book and in that article that they cover in their research. The first is that people who are really able to collaborate well focus on bringing other people along with them and getting them on board versus just plowing ahead by themselves or focusing in on the work and forgetting that getting that work done is going to require the participation and collaboration of a bunch of people around you. People who collaborate well set norms for collaboration. They create clear expectations. They talk with people about what that collaboration is going to look like. They set standards for themselves about how much they're going to collaborate and how they're going to enter those relationships. They are clear about their values and what matters to them in creating those collaborations. When they reach out to people, folks who are really productive and collaborate well are open to exploring all kinds of possibilities with others for how they can drive work together. How can we find new solutions? How can we solve problems together? So they understand that their part of the organization is just one piece of a bigger whole, and that it's those interconnections that are really going to make the work come to life and be possible, and that together they're going to find solutions and make things happen. Now, being able to do that, of course, means that they are really good at positioning ideas in a way that's going to capture what other people are going to care about. They're able to put themselves out there and think through, what is this going to look like for somebody else? What's in it for them to be part of this? And then they're able to really use those skills to get other people enrolled in their projects and helping move things forward together. And finally, really great collaborators will systematically meet with people, whether that's on their team or their colleagues, not just to talk about work, but also getting to know the other person, which is another way of really being able to position your ideas in a way that's going to capture what they care about. When you know somebody else's interests and their goals, where they're headed in their career and what matters to them, then you're able to really position your stuff in a way that ties in and becomes a win-win with what they might want. So all of these things are the kinds of things that I help my clients with. I call it partnership and working in partnership. And it's a big focus of what I teach my clients how to do so that they can be effective in building their careers, building their teams, getting people engaged, and doing all of that in a way that has less overwhelm and less overwork in it because you're not pushing a rock uphill trying to get people engaged with you on something. You've brought them along and they're connected to it and they're part of it. If that's of interest to you, I really encourage you to watch my webinar if you haven't already. In that webinar, I cover the 5 key shifts that people make to get ahead in their career, and this focus on partnership is absolutely one of them. If you've already watched the webinar and you'd like to know more about what it could look like for us to work together, I encourage you to do that as well. I will leave information about both of these options below the video so that you can reach out in whatever way is going to work for you. But if you are feeling overwhelmed, stressed, like all these collaboration tools are there in front of you and you're not using them as well as you could, you're overloaded by all the different people that you feel like you have to connect to, and you don't have a clear strategy for how to do that in a way that's going to move you and your team forward, let's talk. Let's get you on the right track so that you can be making the most of the relationships that you have in the organization, building new ones if you need to, strengthening the other ones where maybe things are stressful or tense, and really leveraging all of that so that you can get your career to that next level. I look forward to being in touch with you. Take care.